Hello, and welcome back to the channel, the Black Eye Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle. Lord God, you were out here twerking in my comments about a woman y'all don't know and would not protect. And in the last video, I think the ending statement was that y'all need to stop and look at yourselves and rethink what it is you're saying, what you're doing, what kind of message you're sending out here about a black woman who was clearly hit in the face. And I wanted to come on real quick and I wanted to share this video because I believe it's not just about Rhoda Osman being hit in the face, but it's about the reverberation that what black women have gone through just for us to be here, and how your lack of concern, your lack of protection, your lack of respect reflects on the work that has been done to get you here today. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play the video. I hope you get something out of it. I will be back with my closing statement.
Of this woman being hit in the face with a brick, especially black men. So disappointed that I started to reflect on history when those that were making the argument how I have to get home to my family, while also telling me that if they saw me in person, what they would do. Those two don't go together. If you're so concerned about being home to your family, how is it that you're telling me what all you would do to me if you saw me in person? Like that would help you get home to your family, but I digress. But I started to realize why throughout history, why we have a Harriet Tubman instead of a Harry Tubman as the most famous conductor on the Underground Railroad. She cared about the lives of people she didn't even know, and she routinely put her life on the line to liberate them, even if it meant that her husband did not approve or didn't even go with her. I understand better why it was Gloria Richardson and not George Richardson putting her body between armed white men and black men to protect them, even if she didn't know their last name. Why it was Fannie Lou Hamer and not Frank Hamer who, after being beat with billy clubs by black men in a Winona jail, she still advocated not just for herself or her gender, but for the liberation of all black people, and even forgave the men who beat her. While it was Dorothy Height and not Donald Height that advocated for the end of lynchings in this country in the early part of this century, while also fighting for prison reform that mostly affected black men, in spite of the fact that she was a black woman. A woman who also helped organize the famous March on Washington in 1963, and as a co-organizer was even on the stage, but she was not even asked to speak. I understand why it was Ella Baker instead of Earl Baker who said, until the killing of black men, black mothers' sons becomes as important to the rest of the country as the killing of white mothers' sons, we who believe in freedom cannot rest until this happens. I understood better why it was Daisy Bates and not David Bates who made the following declaration.
If you're fighting for the rights of man, you never free from fear. I never know when they're going to pass here and blow this house to bits. We still get threatening telephone calls, the hate mail. But nevertheless, I feel if I'm going to live in this town and live with myself, I must oppose hatred and prejudice in any way that I can.
She was not soft-spoken. She was not humble. She didn't ask. She told. It just blew people's minds. Who is this woman sounding like this? Who does she think she is?
Daisy Bates was willing to suffer the consequences of her action. And when you've been at war, you know that there's a price. She was the one soldier that was willing to put her life on the battlefield.
Those very qualities outlined in that video that made Daisy Bates a fierce civil rights activist would have been the same qualities that these same black men today would use as a justification for not protecting her. Why it was Rosa Parks and not Robert. While it was Ida B. Wells and not Isaiah. While it was Shirley Chisholm and not Sherman. And why it was Mamie Till and not Mark Till who would put their life on the line every time they went around the country, especially into the South, talking about the violence that had been done to their son so that no other black son should have to suffer through that type of violence again, regardless if she knew what kind of person they were before or not. I have often told people that the struggle towards liberation for us as a people does not rest on the backs of black men. It rests in the heart of black women, because black women have carried us, sustained us, and loved us when we couldn't carry, sustain, or love ourselves. And even when they are mad, they still did it without conditions. Black women, let me tell you something. You see these men supporting Mamie Till? It pains me greatly to say that men like that do not exist on the level that they used to. All of the conversation going on surrounding this situation involving little boys masquerading as men has shown me succinctly that every woman I talked about in this video would not meet their standards of protection. And I said what I said. Women, protect yourselves, because there are not a lot of men out there who, when they say protect black women, mean it without conditions. Y'all have the day you deserve.
That's a powerful, powerful video there, reminding you guys, you men out here who are arguing with me, a woman you don't know on a teeny tiny little channel, about someone who was hit in the face with a brick. It doesn't matter what she said. It doesn't matter who she was. It doesn't matter all the junk y'all listening to. It doesn't matter. What matters is that she is a human being. She's a person. And she was struck. Anyways, that's all I have for today. Until next time. Oh, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And leave a comment, because I know you are going to. Bye.